Well, hello, paper crafters. This is Juanette at Juanette's Paper Crafts. Before I start today's tutorial, I would like to give a shout out to Patricia Ramirez, Bobby Miller, and Carrie Carter for giving me such nice compliments on my YouTube videos. As you can see today, we are going to be making a Halloween card. And I'm using the Toil Christmas stamp and die set. And when I looked at this Cardinal, to me, it looked like it could possibly be a Ravin. So what I did is I clear heat embossed it on black cardstock and then cut it out. We are also using the gold hoops embellishments from the catalog, and you can see that's found on page 156. And I thought those looked like it could be something that a bird would stand on. Now our main cardstock is 10 by 7. You're going to score it at 5 inches, and I've used very vanilla cardstock. You're going to fold and burnish that. Then you will also need a piece of black cardstock that is 6 7/8 by 4 7/8. And then just a couple of strips of 1/4 inch black cardstock, and we're going to use those for the window panes. Now I also use festive post for my Halloween sentiment and for the bats, and I used my meadow stamp set for the trees because they looked a little bit eerie to me without those leaves on it. I also used the largest stitched rectangle die to cut out my window. And you're just going to run that through your die cutting machine. And I left a little bit more at the top of the cardstock than I did at the bottom because it's going to be a window. Then I just took the strips, and I didn't really measure them, but they would be about 5 inches by 7 inches, one 5-inch and one 7-inch. And I glued them so they looked like the window panes to that window. This card is going to go to my granddaughter for Halloween, and then of course I made one for my other 2 grandsons. So you're just going to center that in the middle of that rectangle and glue it down. Then I marked where I wanted to stamp my trees with a pencil, and then I just erased that after I stamped the trees. And I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp the trees. I wanted it a very monotone color, and those trees again are from my Meadow stamp set. And I just stamped a couple of the larger ones on that left-hand corner there. Then there's a series of smaller trees. I stamped them so that looked like they were in the background, and then brought in that larger one again on the right-hand side. There's also that small little single one. Then I used soft suede ink and used it to ground those trees using the My Meadow stamp set. And I just turn the stamp one way and then the other way, then use the smaller stamp just underneath those trees, just to give them a little bit something to ground them on. Now, having these black dimensionals is fantastic because the white ones you can really see in the back of your cards. So I love having these. And as you can see, I'm also using the outside of the dimensionals toward the end of that pack. Use every little bit that you can. Now this is just some coffee stained piece of a pillowcase. I found a piece of a pillowcase, or one pillowcase, in my closet. It was white. I just dipped it in some old coffee that I had and stained it, set it outside to dry. Then you're going to rip off about a 1" by 6" piece of it, and that is going to be our curtains in our window. I just tied a knot up toward the top, and again, I didn't measure very accurately because it really doesn't matter. You want them to look tattered and old and like it's a spooky haunted house in there. I love how you can use so many different kinds of elements in your card making, and this still made the card fairly flat. So then I just adhere the material to the left and right side of the card, so again that they looked like curtains. I use a lot of this material in junk journaling, and I'm actually thinking about making a Stampin' Up junk journal in which all of my cards that I have made over the years with the instructions will go in this junk journal, because right now they're in a notebook, and it's a nice notebook. It looks good, but I kind of want to make something a little bit more special. So keep your eyes open for that. I might do a tutorial on that. You could also use a little bit of muslin if you had that, or just any scrap, an old t-shirt, anything for that material. You don't need to go out and buy any. But I love how this added to the card. Now I glued the Cardinal, or what I'm calling the Ravin, onto the the gold ring, and I just put a lot of that art glitter glue on the Ravin, and then set the gold hoop over it and let it dry overnight. Then to attach it to the card, I am adding some black stamp dimensionals to the back of the Ravin, and then also some art glitter glue onto that gold hoop. Now, as I lay it down, I wish I would have brought it down a little bit further in the card so that you could see the Raven's head a little bit more. But once I'd glued it down, I was afraid to pull it up, so it is what it is. It still is I think, a fun card. So I'm just putting that Ravin and the hoop up in that right-hand corner of the card. Now in the festive post stamp set, there is a set of 3 bats. And so I'm going to stamp them in the background using again the Memento Tuxedo black ink. And then I also stamped the October 31st with black ink onto a piece of very vanilla, and then used the punch that comes with that set and punched it out. So you can see this basically is 3 colors, very vanilla, black, and soft suede. Then I pulled off the backing on all the dimensionals, did add a little bit extra glue so that I would make sure that that would adhere well, and especially over that material, and then laid that over my card base. If there are anything that you would like me to research and teach you, I would be more than happy to do that. If you need any of these supplies, just go to my 24/7 online store, www.juanettehewitt.stampinup.net. You can place your order there. If you have any questions, let me know. I love doing these YouTube videos. They're so much fun. Now I use the center of the stitched rectangle that I had cut out, and I put it on the inside of the card. That's that punch. I love that punch. Oh, it's fantastic. And there you can see me punching out the October 31st. And at first I was going to put it on the inside of the card, but after I was just kind of, like one junk journal YouTuber says, auditioning your placement of sentiments and what have you, I thought, oh, I think I'm going to put that on the outside. Now, unfortunately, we don't have this ink anymore in available from Stampin' Up. It's gold, but you could use an orange color. You could use your soft suede. You could use a yellow, but I liked the gold because the hoop is gold. And I really liked it there on that left-hand lower corner of the card. And as you can see, I wish I'd have brought that bird down a little bit, but oh well. Then I took a 5x7 envelope and just stamped some of the bats on the left-hand side of the envelope. I also distressed it with soft suede ink so it looked kind of tattered and old. I stamped "Wishing You a Happy Halloween," and again cut that out with the punch and put that in the center of the card for my sentiment. So that's my final card. I love it. And I love how that material looks, and it doesn't add a lot of dimension to the card. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button for upcoming videos. Here's another card I used with the cat cat punch. I added some ice to the cat. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next Monday. Bye.